من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل ألم يجعل كيدهم في تضليل وأرسل عليهم طيرا أبابيل ترميهم بحجارة من سجيل فجعلهم كعصف مأكول. صدق الله العظيم. Brothers and sisters, today we're here to talk about the birth of the Prophet Muhammad. But the events leading up to there were many major events. And today I'm going to discuss about the Allah's destruction for the war of the elephants, for the army of the elephants. So back then there was a king called Abraha. He was a Christian king and he was very arrogant. And in Mecca at that time, there used to be Hajj then as well. And he saw that a lot of people worship around the Kaaba. So he's very arrogant and he went there. And he said, you guys should be Christian as well. So he went with an army of many elephants. And when he reached there, he asked for the people to first he was peaceful, he said for them to surrender to Christianity. And then there will be destruction. So obviously the leader at that time, Mecca back then, it was a hot spot for Hajj and business and trade. They had their market, they had the markets, and they had their parliament as well. Abdul Muttalib, the grandfather of the Prophet ﷺ, was the, let's say, prime minister of them. And then he went and spoke with him, and he said that we won't give in to your ordeal, we won't surrender. And then Abraha was sitting at the top of his elephant, and he saw light shine in Abdul Muttalib's forehead over here. And then he came down in amazement. He was surprised. He thought this was a very important person. So he came over here and he sat down next to him, and he said, why won't you surrender? We will destroy your Kaaba. He said, like I am here to talk about the safety of my people and my property, the Kaaba itself has a protector as well, and he will provide for it, and he will provide for it as well. So obviously they didn't surrender and they went back. And then Abraha kept his army at bay, a bit farther away. But then he's got to feed his army as well, because army, a very large number, and they haven't got enough food to survive for weeks. So they start taking the food, the livestock of the people from Mecca as well. And then the inhabitants of Mecca, they got frustrated. They said, why is this happening to us? Abdul Muttalib, go speak with him. So Abdul Muttalib went and spoke, and he said, why are you doing this to my people? Please give us our stuff back. And he said, Abraha, he said he was sitting on top of the elephant this time, he said, when I first saw you, there was light shining in your forehead. I thought you were an important person. But now I don't see that in you. Because first, I was threatening your deen, I was threatening your religion. A person is supposed to be fighting for his religion first, not for livestock, so you haven't got your priorities straight. And then Abdul Muttalib said, as I already said, that my people I'm here to protect, and my livestock. And then he didn't surrender either. Then it was time to attack. He had had enough, Abraha did. So when he attacked, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَلَمْ تَرَ كَيْفَ فَعَلَ رَبُّكَ بِأَصْحَابِ الْفِيلِ. Speaking to the Prophet Muhammad here, have you not seen how your Lord dealt with the army of the elephant? أَلَمْ يَجْعَلْ كَيْدَهُمْ فِي تَضْلِيلٍ. Did he not frustrate their plan? Did he not stop them from carrying their plan? وَأَرْسَلَ عَلَيْهِمْ طَيْرًا أَبَابِيلٍ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent tiny sparrows, birds with little baked stones. And when they let the stones go, the stones went right through the elephants. تَرْمِيهِمْ بِحِجَارَةٍ مِّن سِجِّيلٍ. The rocks ripped through the elephants, the people. فَجَعَلَهُمْ كَأَصْفٍ مَأْكُولٍ. So you see horses and cows, when they're chewing up straw, grass, they spit out, it's called the cud, they spit out, it's all chewed up. And that's how the people, the army of Abraha was left. Now talking about the light that Abraha saw in Abdul Muttalib, it was the light of the Prophet Muhammad. It travelled through Prophet Adam all the way to Prophet Ibrahim, then Prophet Ismail, then the Prophet Muhammad through Abdul Muttalib, then Abdullah, then Amina. So about the story of the light as well. after Abdul Muttalib received the light, he done dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that to give him sons so he could fight the people against the Makkah people, because back then he had a dream to dig up. He had a dream that there were two crows and they were fighting, and they were like stroking the beaks on the ground somewhere. And he said, what does this mean? And that was where the Zamzam well was hidden. Like the Zamzam well was lost back then. And then when he discovered that, you know, people like your relatives, when you like keep on going at something and you don't get something at first, they'll be like, look at him, he's such a fool, he's not going to get anything. And then when he does get something, all his relatives came around and they said, we should get a part in this as well. Like, we're your brothers, like we're your cousins, we should get a part in this as well. So Abdul Muttalib done a dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he said, oh Allah, if I had any sons, I would be able to fight my own ground. I'd be able to hold my own ground against them. So after many tries, Abdul Muttalib finally, he got 10 sons. And then he done dua. He said first, oh Allah, give me a son, so if I do get any sons, I will sacrifice one in your way. And then the time came, he got 10 sons, and then it was human nature to forget things, so he forgot about his promise to make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about sacrificing one of his sons. And then he got a dream. He said, will you not fulfill your promise? Are you not going to fulfill your promise? And he was confused, and then he remembered he had to sacrifice a son. So he asked his sons, which one of you can I sacrifice in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And they all said, pick me, pick me, pick me. And then he said, no, we shall do like, you know how you have a hat and you put the names in and pick out a piece of paper? So that's what they done then. It's like the lucky wheel thing. And then he done that. And then Abdullah, his name was chosen. And then the relatives saw this and they said, you can't choose Abdullah, he's going to be a pious man one day. Like, we can tell by the light in his forehead, the same light that Abdul Muttalib had, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ's light that transferred onto him. So he said, okay, so he kept on doing. So he went and asked someone, and he said, my son Abdullah's name got chosen, but you can't sacrifice him. He said, what should we do? And he said, you should pay the blood money of one person. So back then the blood money was like, for example, if someone killed someone accidentally, what they would do is pay blood money, like how much money that they would have made in their lifetime, like as compensation back then. So back then it was 10 camels. So they done the draw with the camels' names and Abdullah's name. And Abdullah's name came out every single time, 10 times. So they had to sacrifice 100 camels. So that Abdullah was the equivalent of 10 men, basically. So after that happened, Abdullah was saved, and then as time went on, he got older, he got into the trading business, and he would go around, and one day he was seen by Christian women, and they said that, we'd like to get married to you, we'd like to get married to you. They saw the light in his forehead, and he said, no, I'm going to prefer my father's choice first. So his father had chosen Hazrat Amna al-Zahriya, and then they got married. Eventually the light passed on to Hazrat Amina, and then she gave birth to the Prophet Muhammad. The light stretched out till Syria. So from Makkah, it's mentioned that the light came out when the Prophet Muhammad was born.